Good evening, fellas. Welcome to my picks for the top 5 worst things about the International Fella League, the self-proclaimed premier basketball league. Coming in at my number 5 pick for the 5th worst thing about the International Fella League is the fact that we lack sponsors. What I mean by this is we are such a premier league, but we aren't recognized enough. I promise you, if the world was judging us for what we are, we would be internationally known and famous, and more famous than the National Basketball Association. Recognition is super important for revenue, but right now the IFL just can't do what it's ambitiously wanting to do because we aren't recognized enough. We are the premier basketball league, and we need more recognition, which is coming in at the 5th worst thing about the IFL. We aren't recognized enough. Coming in at our number 4 spot for the 4th worst thing about the International Fella League is the fact that Josh is always late. In the first place, IFL coordination and management is just bad. It is very difficult for all of the IFL constituents to get together and actually play basketball. If William is free one day, Josh might not be free that day. If Josh is free that day, William might not be free that day. Sometimes, such as the instance of the 1v1 IFL Game 5 and 6, it takes a month to play. So when you have bad management in the first place, and then on the days where luckily and by a miracle, both players are free, it is super frustrating for the IFL constituents when Josh shows up an hour late. Yeah, this is my bad habit. The fellas will be waiting at your house and they'll be like, "Come on, Josh, where you at though?" And I'll be like weeding the garden. It doesn't matter though. It sucks that I show up late, and the fellas recommended that this be on the list. I'm so sorry, Ben, that you have to get on this list, but your cameraman skills come at the number 3 spot on this list. Ben, I literally cannot even describe how poor and bad your cameraman skills were during the 2020 Travi Patty Classic. You were pointing at the grass. You were pointing at the sky. Like, we just wanted to capture this so we could show it to our grandkids in 40 years. Ben, you made it on this list as an individual. You're going to be the only individual on this list. That's cap. Coming in at the number 2 spot for the worst thing about the International Fella League is Sam Dingman's history of injuries. Sam, if you weren't injured all the time, our 2v2 season would have been well underway. We wouldn't have had to prolong our 1v1 season. We would be playing, and it would be so fun right now. We're all waiting on you, so stop acting like Derrick Rose and stop getting injured. That is the second worst thing about the IFL. It is tampered with the pacing of the IFL, and our revenue has been just cut so short because the star player Sam is injured all the time. Fellas, coming in at the number 1 spot on this list for the top 5 worst things about the IFL. If you know anything about me personally, you'll know what this is. The International Development of Fella League is the worst thing about the IFL. I rest my case. Good night.